Shipping, billing, admin, payroll, marketing. You're managing all the things, so why waste time sending important documents the old-fashioned way? Mail and ship when you want, how you want with Stamps.com. Print postage on demand 24/7 and schedule pickups from your office or home. Save up to 90% with automated rate shopping. That's why over 1 million small businesses trust Stamps.com. Go to Stamps.com and use code PODCAST to try Stamps.com risk-free for 60 days.
You're looking to make the most out of your digital marketing efforts? Well, to do so, you're going to need a solid strategy in place. Without a plan, your marketing campaigns will really end up going nowhere fast. How do you set up a digital marketing strategy that works? Well, stay tuned, because in this section, we're going to be going over the key components of successful digital marketing strategies, and I'm going to provide you with some examples of effective strategies that are going to help you achieve your marketing and business goals. So, looking to set up that digital marketing strategy for yourself? Then stay tuned and find out.
Being an entrepreneur sounds like, yes, another new client. I did it. But it can also sound like, I am really not understanding this technology, and I'm feeling so overwhelmed. Am I even cut out for this? That's why I started the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast, to help infopreneurs, coaches, and course creators who want to build a business online but are battling technology, overwhelm, procrastination, and even imposter syndrome. Think successfully, think differently, think bigger, and take action by learning tips from an array of business owners, all dropping knowledge on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast. Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
What is up? What is up? What the heck is up, my Dark Horse friends and family? Welcome back to another episode of What is Digital Marketing Learning? I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman. So the past couple episodes, we've been talking about digital marketing for beginners. And if you haven't checked out the past couple episodes, please go back and check them out, because we give you the broad overview. And it took me 2 episodes to go through that. And now we're going to talk about the digital marketing strategies. Now we gave you that overarching umbrella view. Now we're going to start digging to the details. In this episode, the digital marketing strategy. In the next episode, we're going to go into social media. And then in episodes past that, we're going to cover some other topics. So here's the thing. Setting up a digital marketing strategy, it's crucial for any business looking to succeed in today's digital landscape. It involves creating a plan for how you're going to use your digital marketing tactics to achieve your business goals and your marketing goals. And your marketing goals really just kind of lead you to your business goals, right? Now, in this section, we're going to explore the key components of a successful digital marketing strategy, as well as I mentioned earlier, providing you with some strategies to get there. Now, we're going to talk about 5 things. I got the numbers right that time. We're going to talk about defining your goals, identifying your target audience, choosing your digital marketing tactics, developing a content strategy, and then finally creating a plan to execute. So let's go through those a little bit briefly here, and then we'll dive into the details. Defining your goals. The first step in creating a digital marketing strategy is, of course, to define your goals. Because if you don't know what your goals are, you don't know where you're going. What do you want to achieve with your digital marketing efforts? Are you looking to increase website traffic? Or are you looking to generate some leads? Maybe it's drive sales. Have a single goal. Yeah, I know those 3 can feather together and form one. Look, at the end of the day, you want to drive sales. Well, maybe this particular tactic you're trying is going to drive website traffic. And then inside the website, you're going to figure out how to convert them to generate leads. And then with your leads, you're going to figure out how to convert them to generate sales. But by defining your goals, you can create a strategy that is aligned with your business objectives. Look, right now, all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build my list. Okay, cool. Let's do that. You've identified your goal. You want to identify your target audience. The next step, obviously, after you define your goals, is to figure out who you're going to talk to, your target audience. Who are they? What are their pain points? What kind of content do they find most valuable? See, by understanding your audience, you can create content and campaigns that resonate with them and drive engagement, right? When you drive that engagement, those digital marketing platforms out there will push your content. Then you want to choose your digital marketing tactics. Now, once you've defined your goals, you've identified your target audience, it's time to pick a digital marketing tactic that you're going to use to achieve those very goals you just set. This can include social media marketing, which we're going to talk about later, SEO, again, talk about later, email marketing, PPC advertising, content marketing, and so many other options. And we're going to talk about most of these in the next few episodes. Now, then you're going to want to develop your content strategy. All right. Content is going to be the heart of a successful digital marketing strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say that again. Content is at the heart of any successful digital marketing strategy. You need to create content that is valuable, that is relevant, and that engages your audience. It's awesome to have a piece of content out there that is valuable and that is relevant, but if you talk to them like this, they're probably not going to pay attention. Okay? So we're going to get into that in a little bit. And this content can include blog posts, videos, podcasts, infographics, whatever it is. There's so many other options out there. All right. And then the last one, create a plan for your execution. Now, you've got your goals, you've got your target audience, you've got your tactics, and you've got your contents all lined up like strong pillars ready to make the foundation of your home. It's time to create a plan of execution. Now, this is going to include a timeline, when you're going to launch your campaigns, as well as a plan for measuring your results and adjusting your strategy accordingly. Okay, a couple of examples right out of the gate. Nike's Just Do It campaign. How many of us have seen that one? Yeah. Nike's Just Do It campaign is really a prime example of successful digital media strategy. The campaign focused on inspiring people to be active. Yeah. And what did it do? It showcased stories of real people who had overcome obstacles to achieve their goals. The campaign was highly effective and resulted in a 6% increase in sales. 6% might not seem like you remember, Nike already had some big numbers. So you take a big number and add 6% on that, it becomes a bigger number. All right. How about Dollar? Well, you know how many times am I going to talk about the Dollar Shave Club? Dollar Shave Club's viral video is another example of the successful media strategy. The video went viral on social media, generating millions of views and driving a significant amount of traffic to their website. Again, another example of a highly effective campaign that increased in 600% in sales, right? And I chatted about that one earlier, so I won't belabor that one too much. Overall, setting up a digital marketing strategy is crucial to any business looking to succeed in today's landscape, right? Let's just be honest. Because by defining your goals, identifying your target audience, choosing your tactics, developing a content strategy, and creating a plan of execution, you can create an effective strategy that drives results for your business. So let's break each one of these down in a bit more detail, shall we? We're only 8 minutes in. I don't want to rush through this, but I want to make sure I get you the nuggets that you need. Let's start with the first one, defining your goals. Yep, first and the most critical step that you need to take in building your digital marketing strategy. Without a clear understanding of what it is you want to achieve, let's just say it's impossible to create a plan that will get you there. Right? Remember being at a conference many moons ago when Zig Ziglar was still alive. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years back. And he likened it to on an archery lane, right? And down at the end there is your target, your bullseye. And they hand you the bow and they hand you the arrow. And then they let you look at it. Yeah, that's good. And then they put a blindfold on you. Then they spin you around 3 or 4 times and they say, okay, now hit the target. Well, you can't hit a target you can't see. And then drive his point further, you can't hit a target you don't have. So let's define those goals. When defining your goals, it's important to be specific and measurable. We've all heard the SMART acronym: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, right? Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about on that one. But your goals should be aligned with your overall business objectives, such as increasing revenue or expanding your customer base. Some examples of specific and measurable goals could be, I'm going to increase the traffic to my website 50% in the next 6 months. Very specific, very measurable, very time-bound, right? Maybe you're going to generate 100 new leads per month through your website. Okay, that's attainable. You can look at that and say, oh, I hit that goal, I exceeded that goal, or man, I didn't quite make it, right? Another example, increase your social media engagement by 20% within the next 3 months, the next quarter, right? That's very measurable. Maybe you're going to increase the sales of a specific product or a specific service by 10% within the next year. Maybe the next 6 months. You see what I'm saying? You follow me? Okay. Now, once you've defined your goals, it's essential to prioritize them, right? You may have several goals in your bucket list, in your journal, whatever, however you're tracking them. What you're going to do is you're going to want to focus on the important ones, the ones that are going to make the biggest impact to your business. When setting your priorities, consider focusing on things like resources that you have available, the time frame that you're working in, and the potential ROI, the return on investment of each and every single goal. This will help you create a plan that is not only achievable, but realistic. Sometimes what you'll see when you start writing them down and laying them out is you'll see that, man, if I did this one, it would be a lot easier. And then that third one and that fourth one will kind of fall right into place. And there may be times when you have to choose between two, and you'll have to choose. That's why I gave you other ideas like looking at your resources. I don't quite have the resources available for this one yet, but the other one that's very aligned at the same priority level, I have all the resources I need. Well, then that one becomes the first one. Does it make sense? So finally, it's going to be time to track your progress towards your goals and make adjustments as needed. Right? And I talk about this in my goal setting program, that you need to review your results, right? And take time and tenacity. It's not failure, it's feedback, right? This is going to help you stay on track and ensure that you're making progress toward your objectives. If you sit down every week at minimum and look at the things you've done to reach your goals and seeing what results you've gotten, maybe it's no results. Man, nothing's happened yet. Well, that's a result, right? Nothing happened. Okay, well, I got to try something harder, faster, stronger, different. I don't know. Overall, defining your goal is going to be a critical component of setting up your digital marketing strategy. Be specific, be measurable, prioritize your goals, and track your progress, right? This is going to help you create that plan that's aligned with your business objectives and help you achieve success in the digital landscape. All right, now, got our goals. Here's what we want to do. Whatever it is, it's specific. And Tracy said it's measurable. All right, I got all that down. Who are we talking to? Yep, got to identify that target audience. Man, why is it everyone keeps telling us to do that? Well, because it's important. It's a crucial step in setting up your digital marketing strategy. Your target audience is the group of people that you want to reach with your marketing efforts. Well, Tracy, I want to reach everybody. Well, when you're reaching everybody, you tend to end up not reaching anybody. So let's understand who they are. Let's understand what they need. Let's understand what motivates them. The reason it's essential is because it's going to be very important when it comes to creating the content and the campaigns that will resonate with them and drive that engagement. Don't know who they are? You're going to be doing this shotgun thing where you're putting out 1,000 pellets and 2 of them are going to work. If you start knowing who you are, you're going to put out 10 pellets, and I'm talking about buckshot here, 10 pellets, and 8 of them are going to work. Which one would you rather do? Yeah, you feel me? Okay, so here's some steps that you can take to identify your target audience. Let's define, a buyer persona. All right, we're going to create this fictional character, whatever you want to call them. Give them a name that is a representation of your ideal customer, right? Your ideal prospect. This is going to include some demographic information, the usual things, age, gender, income, where they're at. And then we're going to include some psychographic information. What are they interested in? What are their values? How do they behave, right? See, when you start to create these personas, you can start to develop this deep understanding of who your customers are and what it is that's driving their behavior. Here's a shortcut. Quite often, your perfect buyer is who you were not too long ago, right? And I'm talking to my burgeoning entrepreneurs out there. Now, those of you in corporate America, it might not be who you were not too long ago because you're working for someone else. But if you're the person that's created this business and are building it up, well, then you've probably solved a problem inside yourself or outside yourself, and now you've created a business around that. Well, what was the problem you were going through? You get me? Conducted a little marketing research. Market research is going to involve gathering some information about your target audience, including their needs, their preferences, their pain points. Very good to know the pain points, because pain points obviously can be these great marketing messages you can hone in on. Now, this can be done through surveys, interviews, and online research. If you want a little help with this, you can reach out to me at Tracy at Dark Horse Schooling. I'm actually building a solution for just this very thing, because so many people hate doing the target marketing. With me, you answer 5 questions about your business and the product or service that you're providing. And it could be, the product or service could be a podcast or a YouTube channel like you're listening to right now, potentially. I can probably build you a baseline that you can build from. Give me a holler. Let's see what we can do about that. Anyway, then you want to analyze your website analytics. This is another great source. Your website analytics can provide you some valuable insights into the behavior of your target audience. See, by looking at those metrics and analyzing them, you could see page views, bounce rates, and time on your site, and get a much better understanding of what content is resonating with your audience and what isn't. Let's look at your social media conversations. Let's take a peek at those. Social media is a great way to monitor conversations about your brand, about your industry, about you in particular, about your product or service, about competitive product or services out there. By monitoring the social media conversations, not just yours, but the overall social media conversations, you're going to gain massive insights into what your target audience is talking about, what their pain points are, and what kind of content they are finding valuable. Not what you find valuable, mind you, what they find valuable. So now, once you've identified your target audience, it's important to start creating that content and the campaigns that are tailored to their needs, to their pain points, to their wants and their interests. All right. Now, this, again, is going to include things like blog posts, social media content, email campaigns, and maybe start a podcast. I don't know. Maybe you have a YouTube channel, but you want to speak directly to their pain points and their motivations in that content. Overall, identifying your target audience is a critical component of setting up your digital marketing strategy, because by creating buyer personas, conducting a little market research, and again, I can help you with that, analyzing your web analytics, and monitoring those social media conversations out there, you'll get a much deeper understanding of who your customers are and what drives their behaviors. This will help you create that content, as I mentioned earlier, create those campaigns that resonate with your audience and drive engagement. And here's a bonus note on this topic. Your target audience is going to change, right? As your business develops, as the landscape develops under you, right? Your target audience might shift a little bit. You might be thinking, I know exactly who my target audience is, but you haven't reviewed it in a year and a half. Maybe they've shifted a little bit. Maybe you have leveled up and you've brought your business with you. Now your target audience is a little different. Maybe that's why your results aren't as good as they were. Huh? Okay. The next thing is to choose the right digital marketing tactics, right? This is essential for achieving your business goals. There are many different tactics to choose from. The best approach is going to depend on the specific objectives you're trying to attain, as well as your target audience. So here are some common digital tactics that I want you to take into consideration. Social media marketing, right? That's the first one everyone's going to think about. Social media marketing involves using social media platforms, the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, to promote your brand and drive engagement. And this can also result in increasing your website traffic. Now, this can include creating engaging content, running paid ads, and monitoring the social media conversations like we just talked about. Now, the next one after that is SEO, search engine optimization. SEO is the process of optimizing your websites for the search engines such as Google and Bing and Yahoo and DuckDuckGo. This includes optimizing your website's content and structure for those relevant keywords, building high-quality backlinks, and improving your website's user experience. Then we're going to talk about email marketing. Email marketing involves sending those targeted, remember I talked about this before, targeted messages to subscribers with the goal of promoting products and services, building brand awareness, driving conversions, nurturing relationships, right? This is one of the big ones. This can include newsletters, promotional emails, and automated email campaigns that cover, pain, and there's a whole bunch of them, AIDA campaigns. Next, we have pay-per-click, right? PPC. Now, this is advertising. PPC advertising is running targeted ads on search engines, on social media platforms, and on other websites. Now, don't think this is wrong, because this really can be an effective way to drive targeted traffic to your website and generate leads and sales. And then lastly, you got content marketing. Now, content marketing involves creating and sharing, I'm repeating myself here, but I've got to drive this home, relevant, valuable, and engaging content with the goal of attracting and retaining a clearly defined audience, right? I'm going after married moms that have 1-year-old babies and a dog in the house. That's pretty specific, right? Again, this can include blog posts, videos, infographics, podcasts, lead magnets, the whole realm of content that's out there. Now, each one of these I've mentioned, we're going to go into in detail in upcoming episodes right around the corner. Actually, I think our next one is going to be about social media marketing. Then we're going to talk about email marketing. Then we're going to talk about PPC. And finally, we're going to close out this series of digital marketing for beginners with content marketing. All right, 2 more. Now, the next one is you're going to develop a content strategy. Now, this is a critical component of setting up your digital marketing strategy, because content is at the heart of every successful digital marketing campaign. Let me say that again, ladies and gentlemen. Content is at the heart of every single digital marketing campaign. And creating valuable, relevant, and engaging content, how many times have I said it in this episode alone? It's essential for attracting and retaining your target audience. And again, you're going to need to know who your target audience is. So let me give you some steps that you can take to develop a content strategy. Here's the cool thing. You're going to start seeing a pattern develop here. Because the first step in an effective content strategy is to identify your target audience. Well, if you've already done that for your digital marketing strategy, that step is done. Your content should be tailored to the needs and the interests of that target audience. If you're going after single men versus stay-at-home dads, your content should be vastly different. You feel me? Okay? Their values are different. Their interests are different. But identifying who they are and what it is they need and what motivates them, you can create content that resonates with them, that they are going to engage with, and that drives that engagement. You're going to choose your content types. There are different types to choose from. Right? We've mentioned a few of them: blog posts, videos, infographics, podcasts, so many more, right? When choosing your content types, consider your target audience and your objectives. For example, if your audience prefers visual content, you may want to focus on infographics and videos. If they prefer audible content, well, then you're going to create some audiograms and maybe a podcast. Maybe you take that podcast and you chop it in, right? And anyway, now you're going to create a content calendar. And your content calendar is a schedule of when you're going to publish said content. Now, this should include the topics you're going to cover, what content you're going to use, what types you're going to use, and the dates that you're going to publish on. Now, creating a content calendar will help you stay organized so that you're ensuring you're publishing content on a consistent basis. Subconsciously, your audience will start realizing, wow, they seem to be putting out content every other day, and then you start looking for it, okay? Now, and of course, you're going to hear me beat this one in, and I'm going to continue beating it in now. Measure your results. Finally, it's important to measure your results of the content strategy that you're executing. This is going to help you determine whether it's working or not. What is working? What's not working? Maybe you look at it as a whole and you're like, it's not working. But you look at little pieces of it. Oh, that worked and this worked, but then I fell off right here. Oh, well, that means you just need to make some adjustments. See the metrics, track them, including your website traffic and your engagement rates and your conversion rates. Find out what's working, find out what's not. Okay? Now, when you develop your content strategy, remember, it's important to create content. Again, I'm going to keep repeating these things. Create content that's valuable, that's relevant and that engages your target audience, right? Don't keep talking to them like this. You're going to lose them. Even the slow folks that normally talk like this, they're going to check out too. All right, you with me? Okay, you want to show your excitement, show your passion. This is just my advice, right? If that's not the advice your audience likes, go with their advice, okay? Now, again, you're going to provide some insights. Maybe provide them with some advice. You can share stories, right? Stories of clients, stories you've heard. And then, of course, showcase your products, your services in action. Overall, developing a content strategy, again, as I mentioned earlier, is that critical piece of having an effective digital marketing campaign. By defining your objectives, by identifying your target audience, right? That target, you need to see it first, choosing your content types and creating a content calendar and measuring your results, you can create content that resonates with your audience and drives engagement, which drives leads, which of course drives sales. All right, here's the last one. What is it? Who remembers? Raise your hand. That's right. Planning for execution, right? You want to create a plan of execution. Now, they're all critical. You can't take any one of these out and have this work. So I keep saying it's a critical component of setting up your digital marketing strategy. Well, it's true. You pull any one of these out and your digital marketing strategy falls flat on its face. All right. So this one here, the plan of execution, is going to involve developing yourself a roadmap of how you will execute your marketing tactics to achieve your business results. How are you going to make them work together? Now, here's some steps you can use for creating your plan of execution. Develop a timeline. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times people have written down, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. When are you going to do it? I don't know. Tomorrow, next week, next month? Quite often, if you don't create your timeline, it won't get done. The first step in creating a plan of execution is to build a timeline. That's it. Anything. Whether you're going to launch a product, a rocket, or a podcast, or just a marketing campaign, that's your first step. This should include deadlines of when you will create your content, when you will launch your campaigns, and when you'll measure your results. Yeah, put each one of those inside that timeline. Now, next step, allocate your resources, all right? You're going to need to allocate resources such as time, finances, your personal time, and maybe you have team. There's folks that are going to be working with you, their time in order to execute the marketing tactics you've laid out. Now, this may include hiring somebody, right? Someone to do your videos, someone to do your content, a digital marketing agency. You're going to hire some in-house staff, or maybe you're going to outsource certain tasks. So you've got to plan all of that into your timeline. All right. I create the content, maybe it's in text, and I send it to person X over here, and they turn it into social media posts and videos and blah, blah, blah. Well, there's a turnaround time with that. It's not instantaneous, right? So you've got to plan that all in. And that leads to the next one, which is create a budget. And really, all a budget is the financial version of creating your timeline, right? Because you got to budget your time. Now you're going to budget your money. And now the budget is going to help you allocate resources effectively and efficiently to ensure that you have the funds that you need to execute your marketing tactics you've all planned out. Now, the budget should include costs like advertising spend, content creation, as well as any personal expenses you're going to incur, right? Now, got all that. We got all those numbers laid out. Let's set some KPIs, some key performance metrics. Now, KPIs are metrics that you, not me, you are going to use to measure the success of your campaign. And you get to pick whatever it is. And maybe you're so early in the game, you're just trying to build some brand awareness. Maybe get some people to sign up for your email list, whatever it might be. This could include, right, things like website traffic. Hey, I started doing this, and all of a sudden my website traffic started going up. Engagement rates. I started doing this, and people started liking and sharing my content. Conversion rates. Now I've got them going to the website. Now I've got them getting my lead magnet. All right, so I'm building my list. Oh, now that they're getting my lead magnet, they're seeing my offer inside the lead magnet, and I've made some sales. And then finally, the return on investment, right? Remember your budget that we just talked about? How much did you get back out of that? Is it what you expected? Huh? Okay. Now, what are you going to do last? Yeah, you're going to monitor and adjust. That's your strategy. Finally, you're going to monitor what's going on with your marketing campaign and adjust your strategy as needed. Here's the thing. If you went through every single one of the steps and did everything perfectly, it's not all going to happen as you planned it. That's just the way of the world. You're going to miss something. The world is going to be a little bit different, even 24 hours after you've planned it all out. And people are going to react different. Okay, cool. That's why you monitor it. You monitor it and adjust your strategy. Hey, I thought everyone loved video, but everyone keeps responding to my quote cards. All right, well, I'm going to dial down the video and I'm going to do more quote cards, right? Keep that conversion rate going on. This is going to help you stay on track and ensure that you're achieving your business objectives. Look, when you create a plan for execution, it's important to prioritize your marketing tactics and allocate your resources, both financial and time-bound, effectively. You're going to need to adjust your plans as you go, depending on your results, right? Any results you're seeing are going to tell you, go this way, because that way's not working. Or maybe that's not working. You're like, I want to go that way, so I've got to get that way to work. Well, you've got to figure it out. You have to adjust and see based on what you're seeing, the feedback you're getting from your audience. Overall, creating a plan for execution is yet another crucial piece of achieving your business goals through digital marketing. By developing a timeline, allocating your resources, creating a budget, setting KPIs, and monitoring your results, you can create a roadmap to success in the digital landscape. All right, there we go. We have made it all the way through. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, now you have the tools to set up a digital marketing strategy that will help you achieve your goals by defining your goal, identifying your target audience, choosing the right digital marketing tactics for that audience, developing a content strategy, and creating a plan of execution. You, my friend, will have created a roadmap for success in the digital landscape. But our journey's not over. Oh no, it is not over yet. In the next episode, we're going to dive deep into one of the most important digital marketing tactics, social media marketing. Yeah, right. We talked about social media marketing earlier in the episode. I'm going to go do a whole episode on that one all by itself. We're going to explore the different digital marketing social media platforms that are out there, how to create engaging content, and how to measure results. So do not miss out. Tune in to episode 411, where you're going to learn all about social media marketing and how to make the most of those digital marketing efforts that you just spent all that time planning out. Remember, the digital landscape is constantly evolving, and so it's important to stay up to date with the latest trends and strategies to stay ahead of your competition. This podcast is a great way to do just that. And with that, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.